one thing I really appreciate about Mike is he's very honest about his use of PEDs, past, present, and the dangers of them. But everybody's like, steroids are so bad for you and they're terrible. But there's things you can buy over the counter at the store that are way worse than the vast majority of anabolic steroids, particularly injectable testosterone. It's pretty hard. You have to really abuse injectable testosterone to really do some serious damage to yourself. I mean, I've seen some serious abuse, and I'm not downplaying it. They're definitely, good morning, Carrie, how are you? I'm definitely not downplaying. There's definitely risks involved, and you definitely don't want to go off and do it unsupervised medically. And it's definitely a personal decision, but society is kind of like overblown the dangers of them. And then that way, what happens is when you overplay the dangers of something and then people actually take them, or, kids see other people taking them and they're like, oh, nothing bad has happened to this person. And they just kind of write off the entire medical community. Because for years, the medical community said anabolic steroids didn't work, but people that were in the gym definitely knew they worked. So you write off the whole medical community, and all of a sudden you've got people that just are kind of getting their advice from the bro at the gym, or they're buying their stuff from the bro at the gym. Okay, that's kind of off the side topic. So I'm going to pull this clip up, and it's an awesome clip. I really love the fact that he covered this, because it's a huge topic, and I've seen this in my in my career, tons of people that come in dealing with this. So this is Dr. Mike, and we're going to hit play here. I think play.
To their bodies in medically relevant ways from ibuprofen is on par for that with anabolic steroids.
I thought that would kind of be a magic bullet if I got strict and had a nutritionist. It still didn't help the issues I was facing, which was due to a medicine I was taking, an NSAID.
Holy, big problem. People with very physically demanding roles, they get into some joint connective tissue pain. They take non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, Advil, like that, ibuprofen, as you know it around the world. And higher doses of these for long durations, anything over 600 milligrams for anything over like a week, can in many cases do some gnarly debit carding to your kidneys, and is not good for a variety of other shit. Just because you can buy Advil over the counter and just gulp it down and we feel better for 6 hours doesn't mean it's something you should be doing multiple times a day, every day for a long time. People do that, and they sometimes get into real serious trouble. Probably the number of people that have done acute damage to their bodies in medically relevant ways from ibuprofen is on par for that with anabolic steroids.
So that is a great clip. It's really sad. When I was at Liberty University, back in when I was there in the late 90s, when I was playing football, when I would have 2-a-days, they would just give us 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen every day to take. Now we know it destroys your gut lining, it destroys your kidneys, your liver, but they just gave it to everyone on the team. It was crazy. Without even thinking about it, right? So Mike makes such a great point there. I've had tons, and that goes for like things like NyQuil. I mean, if you're having a little bit of a cold and you take NyQuil for a night or two, but I've had people that I've worked with that have been on NyQuil for months and years. People with rheumatoid arthritis popping Tylenol every single day and not realizing the amount of damage it's doing to them. I'm just going to take this Tylenol, this Advil, it makes me feel better. And then down the road, they end up with some serious problems. Like this actor, I think that's the Reacher, the guy that played the Reacher. Great show, by the way. One of the few things I actually watch on my phone other than history videos, which I have a tendency to overdo. But such a great video, because this simple thing that you buy from the store and people pop them all the time. And I'm not saying like if say you're having a bad time of the month or something, or if you're a female, or say you bang your knee or something and you want to take something just to take the edge off for a day or two, that's fine. But it's just prolonged use of these things over a long period of time, particularly combined with alcohol, can be just absolutely devastating. So you want to really be cautious with these things, and you really want to make sure that you're, and the same thing goes for, you know, any painkiller, any anti-inflammatory, in particular, the NSAIDs are the worst. But you want to make sure that you're doing all the things you need to do to be as healthy as possible, and you're not using these things to cover things up, particularly when they do tons of damage. Now, there's obviously, if you have pain issues, there's things you can do to manage pain without taking NSAIDs. There's other options available, but people often miss the low-hanging fruit. The getting outside, getting in nature. One of the biggest things that's correlated with chronic pain is a high respiratory rate. If you got a respiratory rate 14, 15, 16, 17, the chances of you being in chronic pain are much, much higher. So doing things like float tank, relaxation, getting your sleep, doing all these things are going to greatly reduce the chances of you having the pain in the first place. Most people are just going to go to the store and pop something.